I'm Dynasty Wright, aka Little Miss Devil, and welcome to the Toon Minds Show, the podcast that takes you inside the wild imaginations of today's top cartoon creators. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at LittleMissDevil_ for more fun and exclusive content. And now with that out of the way, enjoy the show. Hey, welcome to the premiere of the Toon Minds podcast, the podcast that takes you into the wild imaginations of today's top cartoon creators. I'm your super pumped host, Dynasty Wright. You cartoon fans might know me better as Little Miss Devil. I'm a cartoonist, writer, and creator behind the indie Krampus series, Realm of Dreams. Today's guest is the creator, writer, and director for the upcoming animated series, Zack in Time. Filmmaker and artist, Christian Haynes. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Nice to have you here. We're happy to have you. Okay, so we're going to go into the first question, and we're going to go way back to young Christian and what got you into art and what made you pursue a career in animation.
Yeah, for sure. I've always loved animation growing up as a kid. My earliest memories are probably watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on TV, and then having my little piece of paper and crayons, drawing everything and stuff like that.
It's cool.
But yeah, I always loved growing up watching Disney movies, watching Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. Always writing my own little short stories, comic books and stuff like that. And then eventually just kind of came to the point where it's I kind of want to do this as a job. It was probably maybe around high school, college time where I was trying to find what am I going to do with the rest of my life and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to be a showrunner for animated series.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't quite
definitely
know how that was going to happen or anything like that. Like what skills do I need, stuff like that. But just slowly but surely, just keep making short stories, writing scripts and stuff like that. And then kind of this is where we are today. With Zack in Time and everything like that. Came up with Zack in Time back in 2014.
Wow.
I was kind of at a place in my life where I wasn't really feeling that creative. I was working on other people's projects, live action, films and stuff like that. But I wasn't really doing my own thing. So I kind of just met with a friend, and he said hey, why don't you just work on your own creative ideas and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of came up with a list of different things of hey, what would I want to see if I created my own TV series? So I had okay, I wanted to be a show about a middle schooler, because I was when I was a middle schooler, that was kind of the time where I was trying to figure things out and stuff like that. A lot of TV shows have a middle school protagonist. What are the things I time travel, that would be really cool. Secret agents, that would be really cool. And I couldn't really find an individual idea for those ideas, so I just decided to mash them together. It's okay, how about a kid who finds a time traveling watch and then becomes a secret agent as a result of it. And then Zack in Time was born. It was my senior thesis project. I thought, after I did that, it would kind of launch my career. It didn't quite happen. So I put it on the shelf, kind of did other, gigs here and there, other things being like a PA or, for commercials or, music videos and stuff like that. But Zack in Time was always kind of brewing in the back of my head of hey, I still want to pursue that. So about 2018, I sort of picked it back up, and then met with my producer. Her name is Paige. We actually went to school together, went to college together, and she actually helped out on the original thesis version of it. And then we kind of just been working on it since then. COVID happened. The world kind of shut down. And that's when everybody had a bunch of free time. So
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hey, why don't we work on Zack in Time? And we've just been kind of working on it since then. And we're hoping to actually release the pilot episode in May. So that's kind of where we are right now. So long answer, but that's kind of
no, that's fine. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Definitely.
So you said you've been working on this since 2014. This project has always been in the back of your head for that long. So since it's been that long, I'd like to ask, did you have any favorite cartoons growing up? Are there any that inspired you in your work, that made you want to make your own series?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Danny Phantom is definitely a big poster in the background. I don't know if you can see that right here.
Yep, I can see that. Oh, I see Danny.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's actually signed by Butch Hartman himself. Because yeah, before I'm getting animation, I have a YouTube channel as well, and I do
Oh
like
yeah,
homemade versions of like theme songs and stuff like that. And I did one for Danny Phantom when I found out that Bitch
I
Harmon was
seen
so
that.
amazing.
That was
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, for sure. That was a fun one to do. And
Yeah.
he actually watched that, and then he reached out to me because I actually went to school with a guy who works with him, and he showed him the video, and he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to do like a kind of like a watch along of like the video, like a reaction video to it?" So like we
Oh,
watched it, and he reacted, and it's actually on his YouTube channel of
that's
like us like
cool.
reacting to the Danny Phantom video. So that
That's
was
really
definitely a
cool.
huge inspiration. But yeah, I have like countless shows, like Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob SquarePants, Ben 10, Static
Wow.
Shock, all these different shows that I loved as a kid, like those mid 2000 show, Kim Possible, all these shows I
Yeah.
loved as a kid.
Loved
But
all
yeah,
those too.
yeah, exactly. You have the classic stuff for sure.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so back to Zack in Time. How did this awesome series get started? Like, feel free to share details about your project and its beginnings. Like were there concepts, earlier concepts? Like, were there changes? Like, pretty much just tell us how it started.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of going back to the first question. Yeah, back 2014. Yeah, just writing down different ideas, and that was like I think I was about like 20 at that time. Like yeah, I think it was about 20 years
Okay.
old at that time. So I was like just kind of starting to get into screenwriting. I do like like little short stories here and there. But this is when I was really trying to get serious into like screenwriting, storytelling, and stuff like that.
Okay,
And
I
kind of
see.
I actually kind of go back to those old notes. I'm just like, oh man, like my writing was just like so bad back in the day. Like there's like no like character depth. It's all just kind of cliches and
We
stuff like that.
we all start somewhere. We all start
Yeah,
somewhere. So
exactly, exactly. But what's good is that I had a lot of friends who were in the screenwriting program, so they would like
yeah.
give me ideas and feedback, and like how to like give the characters like more like 3 dimensional personalities, not have the
Hmm.
story be as cliche and things like that.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
see.
it was definitely a long development process. Like originally, like Zach was a white character at first,
Oh,
and because because like that's all I would grow up watching. It's just like white
yeah.
protagonists, Jimmy Neutron, Timmy
Yeah,
Turner,
yeah,
Ben 10,
yeah,
like they're all like white male protagonists.
yeah. I
So
get it.
I
I
thought
get
that's
it.
probably what the studio wants.
Yeah,
That was like
yeah.
back, 2014. Definitely different nowadays. Like now it's like diversity. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes, let's
love
get some
that.
more
I love
diversity
yeah,
in there.
that's a great thing. Love it.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, people were just encouraging me like, hey, why don't you just like create a character that looks like represents you and everything like that. So now it's like Zach's biracial, half black, half white, and
Oh,
everything
that's
like that.
awesome.
So yeah, so it's like a lot of the characters were it was to be honest, it was like an all white cast at first because
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I just wanted to see. But then as time went on, I created characters like more diverse. There's like Asian characters, Hispanic characters, Black characters, and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Because I want to have a show that represents the world that I see and everything like that. I want
yeah, that's
everybody to be
cool.
represented and stuff like that. So that was definitely a long development process, which is like a good thing and everything like that. The characters had more depth. We as the time went on, we hired writers onto the show as well, so they kind of brought in their own experiences. Had the
Mhm.
characters like have a backstory and things like that. So yeah, there's definitely like going back to those old notes and seeing where we are today. There's definitely a big arc that happened for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of
definitely.
developments happened for sure over the past couple of years for sure.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. I love it, and I love how diverse your cast is. I've been subscribed to you actually for about 2 years now, so I'm real
Oh,
aware.
nice.
I'm really familiar with your cast. So I would ask, do you have a favorite character from Zack and Time? Like, is there a character you enjoyed creating the most, writing the most? Like, do you have a favorite? Pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I think. I mean, I would say Zach. I know that's the cliche answer, just because I
Mhm.
put a lot of myself into Zach. But I think honestly, I think probably Kendall is probably my favorite character.
Oh
He's
yes,
definitely like, yeah, the nerdy kid.
his best friend,
Loves like
right?
sci-fi. Yeah, the best friend. Yeah, yep, yep. Because I feel like I was always like the best friend person. Like I felt like
Yeah,
in my life I'm never like the main character. I'm always like the best friend to
I get
the person
that.
who's more the
I
more
get that.
popular guy. So I always
Yeah.
have like I kind of put that into Kendall. He's like the nerdy kid, the wannabe cool kid. Wants to fit in and stuff like that. So I love writing for Kendall because he's always the one who's kind of like commenting on all the action and stuff like that. He's definitely
Hmm.
more of like the pop culture junkie. So when
Yeah, I
he's
get
like,
it.
on a mission with like the SA or something like that, he's always like, hey, this is kind of like this story that I wrote in like my like secret agents series or something, or like this thing that I like read about in like a comic book or something like that. So I love like Kendall. I love Glover, Agent Glover.
Yeah.
She's like a redhead female agent.
Yeah,
She's
she's
great to write
cool.
for. Definitely, has like all like the quick humor and stuff like that. And then probably like Pierce, the big henchman guy. He's
Yeah,
always like,
yeah, yeah. When he threw
yeah,
the
I love
chair in the
writing for
trailer?
him.
Was he the one who threw the chair in the trailer?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's
Hello,
see,
long
that's super
time no
funny.
see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love those
That's
characters
cool.
for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna ask next is what's the end goal for Zack and Time? Do you plan to pitch it to studios or to stay independent? Also, do you know how long your show would be season wise?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can. I'll answer. Yeah, the second question first. I
Yeah,
definitely plan Zack and Time as a 3 season arc.
that's cool.
I'm a huge fan of Avatar: Last Airbender and like book one, book two, book three, and everything like that. I kind of pictured it as like a 3 part story.
That's
At
cool.
first, I originally I kind of pictured it as like a 5 part a season storyline and everything like that. And it was actually going to be every season was going to take place a year in Zack's life. So season one would be he'd be 13, and then season five he would be 17 going off to college
That's
and things like
cool.
that.
Love
But then
that.
as I was writing it, I felt like the main storyline is really between Beckett, Agent Beckett, and Hale with their whole falling out, and then the
Okay.
3 season arc is their kind of like the resolution, and then
Oh,
Zach's
that's
kind of caught
cool.
in the middle of all that. So I figured like it'd just be like a 3 part story. It takes place over 1 year, like the episode one of season one takes place the first day of school, and then the last episode of season three is supposed to be like the last day of school. So it's kind of like this kind of like symmetry and things like that. So hopefully if we get picked up, we can have like a 3 season arc, or
Oh
the
yeah, that's
studio's like, hey,
cool.
we want more seasons, stuff like that. Then I do have ideas for a season 4 and 5 how it can continue, but I would really love to have just like 3 seasons, beginning, middle, and end, and things like that. But yeah, that's as far as the seasons. And then as far as distribution, I think
Yeah.
Paige and I are leaning more towards reaching out to a studio, just because independent animation is just like really really difficult, financially and
Yeah.
everything. It takes a lot of time, effort, money, and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like I'm married, I have a kid, and we just bought a house, my wife and I, so a lot of like
That's
money's going into
nice.
that. Paige,
Congratulations.
yeah, exactly. Paige is married. She has like her life and everything like that. So like don't have a lot of extra money to put into the project.
Yeah,
So I think we're
I
kind of
bet.
leaning into maybe reaching out to like a film festival, like a studio, a buyer, things like that. But someone who would like stays within kind of like our vision for the show. We don't want to just sell off our
Okay.
idea and then okay,
Yeah.
hey, here's our idea, run it with it. We want to be part of the process. We want to be with the studio or the animation uh, uh, sorry, with the animation studio. I just like lost my train of thought there. With the animation studio or with the production company, I meant to say,
Yeah.
who shares our creative vision and everything like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, so hopefully that'll be for us like in the future and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of what we're leaning towards. We were thinking about having it independently through YouTube and everything like that.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
we just thought like it's just like, which we do want to distribute it on YouTube and like the
Yeah, that'd
pilot
be
episode.
cool.
Yeah, we want to have a YouTube premiere. We want to, if we can have, if we are in the position to produce more episodes, put them online and everything like that. But I think we're leaning more toward just seeing like our options, like as far as like pitching to a studio and stuff like that. So it's still kind of up in the air. We're kind of mostly
Okay.
focusing on just finishing the pilot episode, things like that. But yeah, it's kind of just like in the back of our minds, like where we want to do it with the future of Zack and Time. But yeah, it's still in discussion.
Okay, that's cool. I love that. I love that. So what I want to ask next is like, what's your opinion on the indie animation boom going on right now? I've noticed a lot more independent cartoons popping up, and I think it's such a cool thing. So I'd like to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like I'm
Yeah,
just seeing like so many like amazing independent animation projects like out
yeah,
there and everything like that.
yeah,
Like Amazing Digital Circus or like Has Been
yeah,
Hotel or
yeah, yeah,
Lackadaisy or
yeah,
especially yeah
definitely.
Has Been Hotel. Like that's kind of like the dream for a creator on YouTube.
Yeah,
Make this amazing
definitely.
pilot and then it gets picked up by Amazon Prime and they have this whole
Yeah.
season and everything like that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I mean that would be awesome for Zack and Time if that could happen with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I think we're definitely in like a new age of animation. People just
Yeah.
love the medium. I know like a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, it was kind of like, swept under the rug. People were like canceling all these animated shows and everything like that. And now,
Yeah,
it's kind
definitely.
of like a revival, like animation, not only like independent animation, but also like, films, television, streaming, like
Yeah.
people are really into the medium and like they can see like, it's not just like, kids fairy tale stuff. Like you can tell adult stories, you can tell teenage stories, you can
Yep.
tell, all ages and stuff like that. It could be
Variety.
variety. Yeah, exactly. 2D, 3D, just like independent animation I'd never even seen before. All this kind of
Yeah.
variety and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about the whole indie animation scene, and
Yeah, me
like
too.
most producers and studios, yeah, are like taking
Yeah.
notice, and just like, yeah, it's like, yeah, this is like amazing animation. It's not like the standard, IP. That's what everyone's into. Is like, what's the next
Yeah.
IP that we can go for? But
Yeah.
seeing like the flip side of that, seeing that amazing, original, creative, innovative animation from these independent creators is amazing. So yeah, I'm excited for this kind of like renaissance as far as independent animation goes.
Yeah, me too. It's like it's super inspiring. Because when I was a kid, I didn't think this would be possible for me to like, take my own, go to my own, um, just take my own route with it, without a big studio. To have that chance to like put my dream passion project out there. So yeah, it is really cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna all right, we'll move on to this part. All right, I'm sure a lot of young artists will be watching. Do you have any words of advice for any aspiring showrunners on how to manage an animated project?
Yeah, for sure. It's it's definitely a lot more work than you'll realize. I just remember writing. I think it was back in like 2018, 2019, where I really wanted to pick Zack and Time back off the shelf and like really start writing and everything like that. And that was back when I was like writing my own scripts, doing my own storyboarding, doing my own voices, doing like the sound effects and the editing for the animax and stuff like that. That's actually on my YouTube channel too. Like those like the 2019 like hand drawn versions, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I've seen that. I've
Um,
seen
but
that. It's cool.
yeah, but even that was like a lot of work and everything like that. And I think at that point I was like really kind of like, no, I got to be in control of all my work and everything like that. But then just realizing how much work it is, and like that the fact that you can't make an animated show just all by yourself. You
Yeah.
need other people. That's when I got Paige on board. She was able to reach out to like storyboard artists and like animation producers and things like that, and like that really like helped the load for sure. Kind of handing it over to people who this is what they do either for a living or like they aspire to do, and like they've been doing it like a lot longer than I have, since like middle school, high school, and just seeing how talented they are. It's
Yeah.
like it's definitely a lesson for me to like hand things off, as the production kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger, to kind of delegate tasks and kind of take the load off of like me and Paige and everything like that, just so we can focus on like the future of Zack and Time, like the finish
Yeah.
line for Zack and Time, and let the crew take the load and everything, and like put in their talents and their energy to make this pilot the best thing it can be. So yeah, it's been a long journey, but yeah, as far as like advice for people, like I would just say, yeah, just get started. Just like write down like different notes that you have for an idea. Like spend like 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes on the idea every day. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed by the fact like, oh, I have to create this like this full length series and everything like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah,
where do I
definitely.
start? You know, you know.
It
But
is
when
a
it came
lot.
to Zack and Time, yeah, exactly. What came to Zack and Time, like I wasn't really thinking about, like I got to make this big, 22 episode season, everything like that. I was just like, okay, who is Zack? Where does he come from? What is he like? What does he want?
Yeah.
Like what's his whole history? And I just start, just creating the character from there. Okay, who does he interact with? Who are his friends? Who are his mentors? Who are his
Yep.
enemies? Who are his crushes? And like, how do they interact? And then like, hey, there's like a storyline right there. Let's like write something like that. Hey, there's an episode idea right there, and just kind of like slowly but surely build it up. So yeah, I would just say, like first, just come up with an idea that means something to you.
That's true.
Put your own experiences into it. What would you like to see as as a series one day, and just start creating the world from that. Don't rush anything. Take your time with
Yeah, it
it.
takes time.
A lot of people were like, I gotta have a series like right now. Everything like that. It's like, no, take your time. Have
Mhm.
fun with the world that you're creating, and then once you feel comfortable, then reach out to people like, hey, can you create a design for this character? Hey, can you like do a voice for this? And then just slowly but surely kind of build up your world
Yeah.
and everything like that. So yeah, and it definitely takes a long time. When we first started this, it was about like 2019, and now it's like 2024 now. Working on this thing. So yeah, it's going to take time, especially with the animation. So I would say like be patient,
Definitely.
but also have perseverance, because it can be discouraging sometimes when you
Yeah.
have like friends and family. You're like, you're still working on that little side project. Like what is this? But then once you just got to have that passion, you got to have that that persistency and everything like that. And
Yeah,
then they'll see the results and everything like that. They'll see like,
definitely.
oh hey, that I saw that trailer. That actually looks cool. Like I'm excited for it. Like it's not this
Yeah.
little little project you have. That's actually a legitimate thing. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
just say like persistence, patience, and passion. The 3 Ps, I guess.
Yep, 3
When it comes
Ps.
to yeah,
That's great
exactly,
advice. That's
for
great
sure.
advice. What I'd like to ask next though, so how did you like get voice actors for your cartoon, for your project? How did you go about getting a voice cast for it?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the actors actually were people that Paige knew, either from past projects that she did, or like people like from her small group. Actually, Brian Hull, who plays three of our characters, plays Pierce, Hale, and Thompson. He's like this big voice actor on YouTube and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like millions of subscribers on his YouTube channel, and millions of views on his videos. He's actually in the same small group as Paige, so they already had a connection there. Jimmy Costa, who he's actually he works with a lot of people at Biola, who the school that myself and Paige went to.
That's
So we
cool.
reached out to him. He's a popular voice actor. He's done like a lot of like Star Wars fan films and stuff like that. And then Donathan Walters, who plays Zack, was actually someone that Paige knew as well from like projects he's worked on.
That's
And then a
cool.
couple of actors, like my friend Rick Browning, we went to the same church. He actually voices Emmett, the teacher. He's not in the
Yeah.
trailer, but he has a voice part in it. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, he was just like, hey, I love doing voices. Like, you want to hire me? So yeah, we hired him and everything like that. So, and then a lot of people, as the months have gone on, when we were recording the dialogue and everything like that, we're just like, hey, I'm a voice actor. He's like, can I do like a little voice part in it and stuff like that? So yeah, it was really just a lot of people were either just like people we knew already, or people that were just friends with us who just wanted to get their voices heard and everything like that. So yeah, it was really just kind of like just by happenstance, just like by people that we knew, and stuff that people who were interested in doing voices. And I still get people who were like, hey, if you ever get picked up, I do voices. Can you hire me? He's like, yes, definitely, we will. Yeah, we got to get picked up first, but yeah, we'll definitely hire you. But yeah, that's kind of how we got the cast assembled for Zack in Time.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That's really
Mhm.
cool. So what I want to ask next is so how is like the animation process? Like how was it getting animators for your project, and how is it like, managing that part of, the main part of a cartoon is the
Mm.
animation. So how is that? What is that like? What is that like?
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy process because this is an all volunteer project. We're not paying anyone at least for now. We're hoping if we
Okay.
get picked up, or if we get enough money in like our Kickstarter or Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, we can like pay back the animators and everything like that. But right now, it's just a volunteer project, which is very hard to come by
Yeah,
for
I
volunteers for
bet.
animation, because
Yeah.
it's a very long process, a very
Yeah.
involved process, and it takes a lot of hours. So we want to compensate our animators as much as we can
Hmm.
and everything like that. So for every like 100 posts we have, or not 100 posts, but like every like 100 people that we reach out to, as far as like social media, maybe like 5 to 10 people will respond because they see like volunteer project, not paid
Yeah.
position, and they're like, no, I don't want to work on that. So
Yeah, I see.
but what's good is that the animators that we do have are like really dedicated to the project.
That's
They're
that's
like
important.
really interested in the world. They want to see the
That's
future of
important.
the storyline and everything. So the people that we do have are really dedicated and everything like that. So that makes it awesome for us, because
Yeah.
we know the people we do have, they're in it for the long haul. They're not in it for like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just like a little gig and then off
Yeah.
to the next thing.
Just for
They're
the
really,
money, it's
yeah,
important to have
exactly,
people
exactly.
who
Mhm.
really love what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side too, like people who want to get into the animation, because we have like a varying level of like a talent experience on our team. Like some people, this is the first thing they've ever done as far as animation. Like they're in school for animation, or they just graduated and they're just trying to find something for their real. Or we have people who've been like doing this for years and years and years and years, and like this is like another thing that it's like, hey, this is something I can put on my resume. But I really love this world and everything like that. So we do kind of like various degrees of like talent and everything like, and experience, I should say, and everything like that. But yeah, and then so that's the recruitment part. And then as far as like kind of like the directing part, what's good is that it's like me, Paige, and then our animation director, his name's DGO. Kind of like the three of us are kind of like looking at the shots. I'm kind of more on like the kind of like the story character side. So like, hey,
Okay.
this is what Zach's thinking during this time, and then Paige and DJ are more of like the technical side. Like, hey, make this line thicker, make this frame a little bit shorter, stuff like that. So like between the three of us, we're kind of like directing this project, giving approval for the animators and everything like that. And yeah, it's kind of like ups and downs. Sometimes
Yeah.
like you'll get like 5-10 shots in a day, and you're like, oh shoot, okay, I gotta review all this. And sometimes you'll be like, okay, maybe like a day will go by, and maybe a couple days will go by, and you might get like one, maybe 2 shots. So kind of like, it depends on the availability of the animators. I know they have
Yeah.
lives themselves. This is a volunteer
That's true.
project, so we're kind of
Yeah.
revolving around their schedule. But since we do have the deadline of May release date, we're kind of like kicking people into gear and things like that. We're getting the shots in a lot quicker. So yeah, that's really good. But yeah, it's kind of like the process. You just kind of have to wait for a shot to come in. Give your notes and everything, send it back to the animators, to them to do take in the notes and make the corrections and then kind of get it back. And then if we get approval, then we put on our drive. Paige puts it into the little timeline she has for the animatic. And then, we're just slowly but surely kind of editing it together. Where I think we're about like 2/3 of the way through animation, maybe almost like 3/4 of the way. And then we have our sound designer as well, who's like, kind of like doing the sounds and sound effects
Oh, I
and the
see.
music for it as we're editing. So we're kind of doing everything at once right now. It's a little chaotic, but yeah, that's kind of like the process in a nutshell for Zack and Time.
Okay, that's cool. That's
Mhm.
cool. And I see that you mentioned that this is going to be premiering in May. So I want to ask, like, how long is the pilot going to be?
Yeah, it's 11 minutes
11 minutes.
as
Oh,
of
good.
now. It might be a little bit longer just because the animatic was 11 minutes, but as soon as people are animating shots, they're like a little bit longer. With animatics, it's just like, storyboards, just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. But with the animation, it's like a little bit more smooth and stuff like that. So it might be a little over 11 minutes, but yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Oh, that's really cool. I can't wait to watch it because I will be at the premiere. So on YouTube. So um, what I want to ask next is, all right. Oh, and last but not least, time for the Toon Minds this or that segment. So, Christian, I'm going to list 5 pairs of cartoons, and you have to choose one cartoon per pair. Pretty much which one you prefer out of the two.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
okay, so one, the Flintstones or the Jetsons?
Ooh, I think I gotta go with Flintstones. Flintstones is a classic.
Definitely, definitely. Two, South Park or Family Guy?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think I might go. Oh man, that's tough. That's a really tough one. I think I might lean towards South Park just because they're more like topical. Like they can like if there's like a pop culture reference, they can get do it like the next week or something. So I think I probably lean more towards South Park. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Three, three, the Powerpuff Girls or the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Oh man, I love both those shows.
Me too, me too.
I think I'll have to lean towards. I know Powerpuff Girls is a classic, but I think I got to go Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Yeah.
Great choice. I love
Yeah.
both too, but that is like my
Yeah.
pretty much favorite cartoon of all time. I like the humor still lives up to this day. Like I watch
Yeah,
it
for
all the
sure.
time and it's still hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
So for SpongeBob or Invader Zim?
Oh, SpongeBob all the way. I'm
Okay.
a huge SpongeBob. That's like my life right there. I love Invader Zim, don't get me wrong, but SpongeBob I can quote like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of hmm quotables from that show.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Still
Yep.
stuff that I still quote today.
Yep, yep, yep. So and last one, Adventure Time or a regular show?
Oh, that's another tough one. I gotta go to Adventure Time. There's just so many classic characters, classic show. I love regular show, but yeah, I mean Finn and Jake. I mean those are like oh man, and then like the finale, season 10 and everything. That's just amazing. So yeah, I gotta go Adventure Time, more of the classic.
I get it. I get it. You know what's weird? I never watched Adventure Time much. Like I watched like a few
Oh really?
episodes when it came out. I was like 10 at the time, but I was more of a regular show watcher. But I got to catch up
Mm,
on that. I've only heard
yeah,
good things
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, Adventure Time is a great show for sure. But I love regular show too. I love the finale of regular show as well. Like kind of like the meta ness of it all.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And the movie was
good.
great too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, yep. And all right, so thank you for coming onto the first episode of my show, Christian. Do you have any socials where people can reach you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm on Instagram at Christian Dion Haynes. I'm on Twitter at Christian Dion H. You can find me on LinkedIn, just Christian Haynes. Also on TikTok as well, same thing. Yeah, Christian Dion Haynes. I think Threads. You can find me there too. I'm all over the place. Yeah, just search Christian Haynes or Christian D Haynes, and you should be able to find me.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, Christian Haynes, everyone, thank you for watching and remember to stay tune minded. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay up to date with new episodes. Bye, everyone.
You guys.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for future Toon Minds episodes. Bye.